Okay, so running. Let's be real. Who doesn't love a good celebratory drink after a tough run, you know?
Hmm.
But is that post-run pint really a good idea? We're going to find out today as we dive deep into the science behind alcohol and running performance. We've got a ton of research here, and got to be honest, some of it, well, it maybe rethink a few of my post-run rituals.
Yeah.
Luckily, we've got our expert here to break it all down for us. Welcome. So glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's a question that comes up all the time. Happy to help separate the myths from, the actual facts when it comes to how we can get the best athletic performance.
Perfect. Let's jump right in. One of the things that really stuck out to me in the research was just how dehydrating alcohol is. And we all know hydration, huge for runners. But can you explain what's actually happening in our bodies when we're dehydrated, especially during a run?
Totally. So we know alcohol is a diuretic, right?
Right.
But it actually goes a little deeper than that. It actually reduces the production of a hormone called vasopressin. And this hormone, it's really important. It helps our kidneys conserve water. So when we drink alcohol, we're basically telling our bodies to just flush water out way faster than normal.
And I'm guessing that's not exactly good news for our muscles, which, we need water for everything, right?
Exactly. Think of it like this. Dehydration, it's like reducing the volume of your blood. It gets thicker. It makes your heart work harder to pump it around your body, including to those muscles. It's almost like trying to, run a marathon, but with a clogged fuel line,
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to struggle to keep up the pace, and the performance is going to suffer.
Wow. That's a rough visual. Okay, so it's not just about being thirsty. It's like the actual way that our cardiovascular system works is off,
Exactly.
out of whack.
Yeah. And speaking of off, alcohol, it doesn't just dehydrate us. It also messes with our coordination. Have you ever noticed how even just one drink can make you feel a little, I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
a little less sure on your feet?
Like a little clumsy? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What is going on in our brains when that happens?
Well, alcohol goes right for our cerebellum, which is kind of like the control center for movement and coordination in the brain.
Okay.
And even small amounts can mess with how that area communicates with the rest of your body, leading to those almost tripped moments.
So not only are we dealing with dehydration and our, our heart and everything is working harder, but then our brain is also having a hard time, telling our body how to move right.
Yeah.
That sounds bad.
It's not a recipe for your best run, that's for sure. And then on top of that, think about reaction time,
Oh, right.
which is also, your cerebellum.
Oh, yeah.
It can get even riskier, especially if you're, running outside. You got to be aware of your surroundings.
Totally. I never really thought about the reaction time, the connection there, but it makes a lot of sense. And I'm guessing this all ties into the mental game of running, too. Alcohol and runner's high
They don't really go together.
they don't really go together.
One of the best things about running is that natural high, right?
Yeah.
You get from endorphins, those feel-good chemicals our brains are pumping out during a good workout. But alcohol actually suppresses endorphin production.
Are you serious? So we're potentially ruining our physical performance and missing out on that awesome mental boost. That's a double whammy.
It's true. It's like throwing a wet blanket on all those good vibes.
Yeah.
Which can leave you feeling, I don't know, just kind of blah, unmotivated, and definitely less likely to actually enjoy the run.
Okay, so we've covered how alcohol can impact our hydration, our coordination, and even our mental state when we're running. But what about our actual energy levels? We need fuel to get through those miles, and a big part of that is glycogen, right?
It is glycogen. It's like the good stuff, right? Our muscles need it, especially on those long runs. It's that energy that's ready to go, stored right in our muscles and liver.
And alcohol has other plans for that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, kinda. Remember how our body sees alcohol as a toxin, something to get rid of?
Yeah.
Well, our liver, which is kind of running the show when it comes to our blood sugar and storing glycogen, it gets a little busy dealing with that detox.
So while our liver's cleaning up the party, our muscles are over here hey, where's the good stuff? Where's the glycogen?
Exactly. It's like, imagine your pit crew just pieced out mid-race,
Oh, no.
Your body's stuck using those backup energy reserves, and trust me, they're not going to get you very far.
And that's when we hit the wall,
Yeah.
right? Way sooner than we should.
Exactly. You get that sluggish feeling, legs feel like lead, pace goes out the window, your body's basically waving the white flag saying, I'm out of gas.
So, okay, we're dehydrated, our coordination's shot. no endorphin high, and now we're running on fumes, basically. Anything else alcohol messes with when it comes to running? What about VO2 max? Isn't that super important for runners for endurance?
VO2 max is huge. It's all about how well your body uses oxygen when you're pushing it. And you guessed it, alcohol throws a wrench in that system too.
Ugh, of course it does. Tell me more. How does that work?
It kind of messes with your red blood cells, those little guys that carry the oxygen around.
Right.
And it can also slow down some of the enzymes that help your body make energy from that oxygen. It's like trying to run with like a clogged air filter or something.
So not only are we low on fuel, but our bodies can't even use the oxygen we do have properly.
Pretty much. You end up feeling winded way faster, have to slow down. That burning feeling in your muscles comes way earlier.
It's crazy how our bodies are so finely tuned, and we don't even realize it until something like alcohol just throws everything out of whack.
Speaking of things that sound too good to be true, there's this whole thing about alcohol helping us burn fat when we work out. Is there any truth to that?
That, my friend, is a myth that needs busting.
Okay, good to know. Alcohol does have calories, sure, and yeah, our bodies burn calories during exercise. But the thing is, alcohol actually makes it harder for our bodies to burn fat efficiently.
Okay, so explain it to me like I'm 5. Why is that?
So your body, it sees alcohol, and it's like, priority number 1, gotta get rid of this. So it focuses all its energy on processing that alcohol, basically hitting the pause button on any fat burning that might have been happening.
So instead of using our fat stores for energy during a run, our bodies are too busy dealing with the booze.
Bingo. And get this, alcohol can also make us hungrier and lead to bad food choices, not exactly helping us reach our fitness goals.
So not only are we missing out on burning fat, but we're actually more likely to eat more, probably not the best stuff either, all thanks to alcohol.
Ugh, talk about a recipe for disaster. And what about recovery? We talked about how alcohol affects us during a run, but it can't be good for bouncing back afterward, right?
You're right, recovery is huge, maybe even more important than the actual workout. And yeah, alcohol, it kind of throws a wrench in that whole process. Okay, so walk me through it. What's going on in our bodies when we're recovering, and how does alcohol mess that up?
Well, think about it. When you're pushing yourself on a run, you're actually causing tiny tears in your muscle fibers. It's totally normal, all part of how muscles get stronger.
So those sore muscles we feel, that's actually a good sign. Like, hey, things are rebuilding.
Exactly. Your body uses this whole process called muscle protein synthesis to repair those tiny tears, make those muscles stronger.
Got it. So where does alcohol fit into all this?
Well, here's the thing. Alcohol actually messes with muscle protein synthesis. It slows down that whole repair process.
Oh, no.
So you stay sore for longer, and it takes longer to bounce back.
So imagine a construction crew, right? They're trying to fix something, and someone keeps coming by and messing with their tools.
Perfect analogy. And to make matters worse, alcohol also messes with our sleep, which is key for muscle recovery. Even one night of bad sleep can really set you back.
So we're talking about slower muscle repair, more soreness, and we might not even be getting the sleep we need to recover in the first place.
Yeah, not ideal.
Not ideal at all. Okay, so say we're not ready to give up alcohol completely. Is there a way to enjoy a drink without totally sabotaging our runs? What about, when we drink? Does it matter if it's before, after, or even, during a run?
Honestly, any alcohol is going to have some impact. But yeah, timing definitely matters. Drinking right before a run, worst possible thing you can do.
Yeah.
It's like, why even bother? You're basically setting yourself up for failure from the get-go.
Like trying to run a marathon with, your shoelaces tied together.
Exactly. And then that post-run beer, I know it's tempting, but remember, right after you finish a run, that's when your body's working hardest to rehydrate, restock those glycogen stores, and get that muscle repair going. Alcohol is the opposite of what you need right then.
So the post-run beer is a no-go. What about, waiting a few hours after, once we've had some water, some food?
Still not great. Even hours later, your body is in recovery mode, and alcohol's just going to slow things down. Plus, let's be real, you're probably going to make worse food choices when you're drinking, which isn't helping.
So moderation and timing is key. But, realistically, how much alcohol is too much when it comes to running?
Tough question. It really depends on you, your weight, how fast you metabolize alcohol, how intense your training is. But I'd say, listen to your body. What are your goals? If you're training for something big or really want to hit peak performance, cutting back on alcohol, especially in those few days before a big run, that's always a good idea.
So we want to run our best, feel good during and after, recover faster, maybe swap that post-run beer for something a little more Recovery friendly. What are some good alternatives?
Oh, tons. Electrolyte drinks are great. Smoothies with some fruits, veggies, protein, even just water with lemon. Way better than waking up sluggish and with a headache.
Totally. This has been so helpful, really eye-opening. So if our listeners take away one thing from today, what would it be?
I'd say knowledge is power. The more you understand how alcohol really affects you, the better decisions you can make for your training, your recovery, your health in general.
Absolutely. Huge thanks to our expert for breaking it all down for us today. It's amazing what we can learn about something so simple when we take a closer look. And to our listeners, keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and most importantly, keep running.